Hey everybody, Chris Americos here from chrisamericos.com, where we help you level up and show the world the best version of yourself. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you about 3 words that surprise English native speakers. Now, first and foremost, I have to tell you that a native speaker is a strange term. So let me explain. Sometimes people categorize them. They put them into categories of native speaker and non-native speaker. Basically, when they say that, they're saying that some people who grew up speaking English are called native speakers, and people who did not grow up speaking English, they had to learn it as a second language or a third language, that those people are non-native speakers. Some people think that it's better to study English with native speakers and not as good to study English with non-native speakers. I think that is absolutely wrong. Native speaking teachers haven't actually learned how to speak the language because they just know it. And a lot of non-native speakers, they had to do this successfully. They had to learn how the language works. Of course, I'm not speaking about all of them. There are some native speakers who really know the rules of the language. They know how it works. They have a lot of experience. And there are a lot of non-native speakers who can do that too. Now, how can you surprise people who are native speakers? How can you surprise people who have grown up with English all their life? In this video, I'm going to tell you about the 3 words that maybe you say that would surprise native speakers because nobody really speaks like that. The first one is the word teacher. Now, you might be thinking, Chris, you use the word teacher all the time because you're an English teacher. Well, yes, I use the word teacher, but I don't call other people teacher. I don't say, hey, teacher, I have a question. The same way that I don't call someone lawyer or doctor or accountant. No, you don't do that. You say, hello, Mr. Smith. Now, you can use the profession and the name. So you could say Dr. Smith. Now, when I'm working with my students who come to me to get big results from English, if they call me teacher, it sounds strange. Don't call me teacher, call me Chris. Maybe in the country that you're from, it's rude to say the teacher's name. That's not how we say it in the United States. You can use the profession plus the name. You could say, Teacher Chris. It still sounds strange to me, but you could say it. That's the first one that really surprises native speakers, is if you just call them teacher instead of using their name. Now, the second word that surprises native speakers is the word elder. I understand. If you look in the dictionary, you'll find that it's a noun, it's an adjective, and it really means the same thing as the word older. Native speakers usually use the word older, and the word elder is only used in some special phrases. For example, the phrase, respect your elders. Or maybe if I'm watching The Lord of the Rings and people are speaking with an old style of English, they might talk about a group of people in the village, the elders. This is a group of people who are older than us. But we don't usually say that. We can say, Mike is older than me. Now again, English is different in different places in the world. So if people in your country use the word elder all the time, that's okay, right? Because English is just a tool for communication. But when you go to the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, these places, people usually use the word older, not elder. Generally, people who are native speakers, they think that the way that they speak is right. Now, of course, not all native speakers are the same. Not all people are the same. That's the most important thing to say. But different people might think that they're right or wrong or something strange or not strange. So forget all of that stuff. You know, there's lots of teachers out there who are telling you this is right and this is wrong. And it's not really a good way to learn a language because it's not about what's right and wrong. Languages are not about that. Languages are about communication. Now, the last word that will really surprise native speakers is the word deer. D-E-A-R, not D-E-E-R. If you see a deer, sometimes that's surprising, but usually the deer is more surprised than you. The word deer is surprising to native speakers because we don't usually say that to other people. If you come to my lesson, it's going to sound strange to me if you say, Thank you, dear teacher. Just say thank you, Chris. That's fine. You can just use my name. I'm telling you right now, if you ever meet me, just call me Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Don't call me dear, don't call me teacher, and don't call me your elder. The word dear, I hear a lot of students use it in different parts of the world to mean like respected person. But the word dear isn't really the way to do that. In English, the best way to show respect to someone when you're addressing them, when you're trying to speak to them, get their attention, is to use Mr. for men, Mrs. for a married woman, and Miss for an unmarried woman. So using those three words in front of someone's last name, that's the best way to address someone and to be respectful. My last name is Huntley, and if you say Mr. Huntley, that's very polite, very formal, but I like to be really informal because you and we're really the same people. You know, you don't have to call me Mr. Huntley. You can just call me Chris. Try not to use those words in those ways. Like you can use the word teacher. The word teacher is okay. Just don't use it instead of someone's name, right? Dear, we use this in writing. If you're writing a letter, Dear Maria, it's been 5 weeks since I've written a letter to you. You might not have to say dear. You could probably just say the person's name or just start the email. It depends on the type of email and it depends on what you're writing. But we don't use the word dear in speech to address someone very often. Instead of elder, say older. That one's easy, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it really helped clear up some things that maybe you've been saying for a long time and maybe people have been reacting in a strange way when you say them. You know, I don't always post videos on the same days at the same times, so it's better if you subscribe and then you click that bell button so that you get notified when I post a new video. And it's great if you leave a comment under the video too, because sometimes I go into the comments, I find the people who are commenting, and then I send them messages or I invite them to join me in the next live lesson. Now go out there and show the world the best version of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.